Some stories aren't just stories. They're warnings, they're truths people never had the courage to tell. This is one of those stories. When my twin sister was being silently destroyed behind closed doors, I didn't just listen. I became her. And I made him regret every bruise he ever left. This is our story. And he never saw any of it coming. I used to think honesty came naturally in love. That when you love someone enough, they wouldn't lie because the truth would always be safer with you. But I was wrong. Love doesn't stop lies. It just makes them easier to excuse. So when Daniel said he had to fly out for a last-minute business trip, I smiled like a good wife. I even packed his shirt, the blue one with the slim collar that I knew he liked. He kissed my forehead and promised to bring back that cinnamon tea I liked from the airport store. I waved goodbye from the porch. And then he vanished into silence. No texts after landing. No check-ins before bed. No blurry hotel room selfies like he usually sent when traveling. Something in me shifted. It wasn't rage, not yet. It was awareness. That deep, subtle knowing women get when silence becomes heavier than words. That evening, I opened my laptop. Not to stalk, but to protect. I logged into our shared card account, the American Express Black he just started using for points and status. One swipe showed $798 charged at a restaurant in Manhattan. 3 hours ago. He told me he was in Boston. I magnified the restaurant name. I Googled. Up popped a polished place made of dim lighting, leather booths, and corner tables you book when you want to hide. What stood out wasn't that he spent money. It was that he'd only ever taken me to that place once, on our anniversary 2 years ago. I hadn't even asked to return. He said it was only special enough for special moments. And now I had just bought him one with someone else. So I called. No answer. Second try, voicemail. I didn't leave one. Because I didn't want to hear myself later, wounded and panicking. Instead, I logged into our Apple account. He never changed his device permissions. I clicked Find My iPhone. There it was. 32 minutes ago, last pinged at the same restaurant, aligned with the timestamp. I didn't cry. Tears are currency too precious for someone spending me like a discount. While he laughed over dessert, I built a timeline. His flight reservation. Booked under points from our joint travel wallet. Hotel confirmation, found in his Gmail backup. Attached with a second guest, unnamed. But I knew. Her name had appeared once before while he was in the shower. A late-night message from Murray HR. There it had read, just one word, a timestamp. I asked him who she was. He said she was helping him apply for a grant. Turns out, the only thing she granted him was attention. I confirmed it that night. She featured in a tagged Instagram story that wasn't on his feed, but on their servers. A shot of a booth, a toast. His hand. His watch. His ring missing. I sat quietly, logged back into the bank and smiled. With one click, I froze his card. With another, I disabled the extra travel wallet. With one final click, I sent an alert to the concierge. Unauthorized travel activity, possible fraud, please block card immediately. I shut the laptop, turned off the lights, and slept peacefully. Because the only thing more expensive than loyalty is regret. I woke up the next morning to the sound of 3 missed calls. 1:13 a.m. 1:28 a.m. 2:07 a.m. All from Daniel. No voicemails. Just silence stacked behind desperate notification bubbles. I didn't call back. I knew why he was calling. The card had been declined. His perfect dinner, his overpriced room, his double life, all paused by one woman who finally saw her own worth. Around 8:03 a.m., my phone rang again. This time, I answered. Before I could say a word, His voice crashed over the line like a storm that just realized it couldn't stop the flood. What did you do? My card's frozen. The concierge said it looks like fraud. He was whispering, angry, but not loud. That tone people use when they're close to exposure, unsure who's listening. I said nothing. Then, you're embarrassing me. I can't even check out of the hotel. I smiled. He thought this was about embarrassment. He hadn't understood yet. Wait until Marie finds out you're the side piece who can't afford brunch, I said calmly. He went quiet. I don't know what you think you found, he finally said, voice low, cracking. But it's not what it looks like. Oh, Daniel. Even now, with receipts, photos, GPS signals, and more battery dead at night than his loyalty during our marriage, he was still trying to gaslight me. I know exactly what it is, I told him. I've already forwarded copies of the transactions, screenshots, and itinerary confirmations to my attorney. I hope Marie doesn't mind being Exhibit B. He cursed under his breath. Said things like, "This is extreme, and you're not thinking rationally." I wanted to laugh. Because for the first time in 6 years, I was thinking more clearly than ever. That afternoon, I gathered my things. No, I didn't pack a suitcase dramatically. I didn't burn clothes or cry into perfume bottles. I simply changed the locks. Had the bank statements printed. Sat with my lawyer for 42 minutes while she built the framework for financial separation and asset freeze. Because Daniel wasn't going to leave me with memories and mileage points. No. He was going to pay for the seat he lied in. By evening, an email hit his inbox with my name as the sender, but written on legal firm letterhead. Subject line: immediate response required, marital assets under review. An hour later, Daniel texted, "Can we please talk?" I didn't reply. That's the thing nobody tells you about betrayal. It doesn't burn loudly. It freezes. Quiet. Permanent. 3 days passed. He tried everything. An apology bouquet. A long, overwritten email titled, "Let me explain." A voicemail where he cried, talked about stress, family expectations, how everything just happened too fast. But you know what never showed up. Accountability. There was no. I knew exactly what I was doing. No. You didn't deserve that. Not even. I made a choice, and it was wrong. And so, I gave him exactly what his love had always been worth. Silence, in the background, the life I put on wait resumed. I restarted the grant application I had shelved to help him chase his MD. I booked a solo trip, the kind of self-date you take, not to escape pain, but to rediscover taste. And Marie. She blocked him, publicly. Apparently, gold card guys don't shine without black card privilege. This wasn't revenge. This was accounting. All I did was balance the equation. He took 6 years from me to build his name. I took 6 days to make sure no one forgot mine. They say silence is an answer. But what no one tells you is, it's also a sentence. And Daniel. He was serving his now, quietly, alone. Weeks passed. I didn't look for updates. But people love drama, and drama loves to report. Word reached back that his counseling application got delayed. Blocked due to ethics investigations. Apparently, patient trust starts with personal character. His private practice startup. Frozen. Funding pulled back once the firm found his domestic instability was on record. He had taken me for granted for years. Thought I was an extension of his success, like a desk chair that always stays where you left it. And now, he learned what happens when the chair is gone and you have nothing to sit on. I wasn't entertaining apologies. People texted me that he missed me, said he was thinking about everything. But thoughts are unpaid invoices. And I was done with discounts. You see, revenge doesn't always need to look like rage. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is leave the story and let the mirror handle the punishment. Daniel didn't need more of my voice. He needed to hear his own echo. One day, as I closed my shift at a conference center, I caught a glimpse of someone standing near the exit. It was him. Not in his white coat. Not in his charming vest. Worn shoes, bent shoulders, a face that looked older than his age. He didn't walk up, just nodded from a distance, an almost apology with his eyes. And I nodded back, not cruel, not cold. Just done. Forgiveness isn't about erasing history. It's about no longer being owned by it. I walked past him, heels tapping gently against tiled floors, like punctuation at the end of a very long sentence. I didn't need closure. I was the closure. And I hope he remembers that. Every time a card declines. Every time a woman asks, "What happened to your marriage?" Every time silence answers him, the way he taught me to use it. Because I never needed to scream. I just needed to remember the power of knowing when to walk away. And now I sip my own cinnamon tea. The one I used to ask him to bring back from his trips. Turns out it's available online. I light my own candles. Plan my own dinners. I even booked a weekend trip, just for me, first class. Paid in full. On my own card. If you've ever loved someone through their pain. If you've ever stood tall for someone who felt too small to fight, then you already know. Sometimes karma isn't a thing that comes later. Sometimes it shows up wearing the same face as the woman he thought he broke. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to hear more stories like this. Because even in silence, the truth has a voice.